Are you looking for a passive investment that is stable, flexible, and with good returns? Ready Capital Mortgage Investment Trust, distributed through an Ontario Service Commission's registered exempt market dealer throughout Canada. All the investment are mortgages secured by real estate properties with anticipated annual returns of over 8%. All investors receive a fixed monthly interest with an option of making compound interest investment. Your investments have no locked-in or commitment period. Aside from regular savings in personal and corporate accounts, we also accept RRSP and TFSA investments. Whether you are a high net worth individual or just start saving for your future, we accept all. With a minimum investment of $5,000, come see us today and unlock your earning potential.
Okay, let's begin. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ready Capital Mortgage Investment Trust third annual general meeting. My name is Christine Su. I'm the CEO and one of the trustees. Thank you everyone joining us today online. This is our second online virtual annual general meeting. Hopefully it's the last one. Hopefully by next year, this time, the pandemic is behind us and everyone can meet in person and see each other in person. Today, we're celebrating Ready Capital Mortgage Investment Trust 3 years, excellent journey in the past 3 years. And so we'll have right now, today, the whole original team since 3 years ago, when we started 3 years ago, joining us on the panel. And thank you very much to work with us and have delivered such an excellent report to our investors. So today is a day of celebration, and I'm here to congratulate the whole team for such a job well done. So briefly today, same will be last year. The format will be 2 parts. First part, the main part will be delivered in English. Since a high percentage of investors are Chinese investors, we have a second part delivered in Mandarin for about 10-15 minutes. During the time, the panelists, if you want to take a short break, you can turn your camera off. And the Q&A session will be at the end. So please hold your questions until the end. So let me speak a few words in Mandarin, then Ron will take it over. 大家好，欢迎大家来我们瑞达按揭投资信托基金第3次年会。那么今天的年会呢，主要就是要来庆贺一下我们过去3年的辉煌的成绩。我们非常骄傲，我们给投资人带来了很好的这个成绩单。那么我们今天的年会呢是2部分哈，第一部分呢，主要的部分呢，我们是英文的部分，跟去年一样。然后第2部分呢，我简短的有大概10到15分钟的中文的讲解。然后最后呢是给大家有很多提问时间，所以如果大家有问题的话呢，我们最后再提问。Okay, so let's begin our main session now. Ron Quadro. Ron, that's your turn.
Perfect. Thank you, Christine. Hi, everyone. My name is Ron Quadra. I am the Director and Trustee of Ready Capital Mortgage Investment Trust. My responsibilities is overseeing and managing the day-to-day operations and activities of the fund. First off, I want to thank everyone for taking the time and joining us today. I also want to thank all our valued investors for your continued belief and trust in Ready Capital. Let me begin by introducing the Ready Capital staff involved in making Ready Capital a great place for your investment. Beginning with our exempt market representatives and administrators, we have Gigi Wang, who also is our marketing manager and did a great job in putting this together. So I want to thank you, Gigi, for doing that. We have Vivian Lau. Please raise your hand and say who you are. Shirley Dow, Jasmine Fu, and Teresa Tang, our office administrators. Our VP of Underwriting, Michael Quadra. And we have Martin Reed, who is a trustee alongside with myself and Christine. We are also joined here by our key business partners present here today, who will say a few words in just a few minutes. First, we have Jonathan Botre from Belco Private Capital, our exempt market dealer. We have Robert Kligerman, our legal counsel. Decina and Rob Filomena, who is, I guess, not present. Falcon Ridge Management, who is our fund administrator. And we have Shay Lung from Seagull, our accountant and auditor. I want to take this time to thank all you as our business partners for our ongoing success and moving forward. At this moment, I'm going to pass it on to Jonathan, who's going to say a few words. He's the president of Belco Private Capital.
Thanks for the introduction, Ron. Hi, everyone. It's nice to meet you. My name is Jonathan Botre, and I'm the president of Belco Private Capital, and we are the exempt market dealer for the Ready Capital Mortgage Trust. I would just like to start off by congratulating Christine, Ron, and the rest of the Ready Capital team on a successful 3 years. I would like to thank the dealing representatives that work with us on our platform for doing a great job in terms of understanding and onboarding Ready Capital investors. And I wish everyone more successful years for the trust. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, Jonathan. Before we get to the rest of our business partners, I just want to do up a few highlights of the financials that we just received. I know most of you should have it already. It was sent out a couple of weeks ago. So our 2021 financials recently sent out had a growth at the end of December 31st. The fund had assets under management of $42 million, accounting for a growth of 69% year over year. This growth also accounted for a net revenue increase of an 88% year over year. The fund enjoyed a healthy return per unit of 8.37%, resulting in a year-end additional distribution of 25.6 cents per unit to our investors. Our mortgage loans receivable was up 93% with a book consisting of 72 loans, further reducing our overall risk within the portfolio. The dollar amount of these 73 loans consisted of 55% in first mortgages, 45% in second mortgages, with the weighted average loan to value of the portfolio at the end of the year of 68%. 2021 had a very serious pandemic. Despite this pandemic, our mortgages continued to perform A1 with no serious arrears. We've had one mortgage that went into power of sale, unfortunately. However, I am happy to say that has been since resolved with zero loss to Ready Capital. It's important to note that most of our mortgagors are referred through Money Broker Canada, our sister company, and its mortgage agents. There is very little reliance on third-party brokers for referrals, which gives us the advantage of continued growth, in-house known clients, and referral source stability. As for the outlook in 2022, at present, Ready Capital currently has surpassed 50 million in assets under management. Ready Capital continues to grow exponentially year over year and shows no signs of slowing down. Given the increased mortgage rates at this time, more and more clients will be looking towards obtaining approvals from financial institutions but cannot, and will be looking towards private financing. Ready Capital, I'm happy to say, is well positioned to help these customers moving forward. Thank you. So at this moment, I just want to pass it on to Martin Reed.
Hi, thank you very much, Ron. I just want to congratulate Christine and the whole team for continuing to deliver excellent results, but not only great results, but doing it in a very conservative way with more than half the portfolio in first mortgages, very diversified investor base. I think you guys are really well positioned for the future. You've consistently delivered stronger returns than anticipated, and doing that in a very challenging environment. So well done, and look forward to to the coming years. As I say, I think you guys are very well positioned to take advantage of the market.
Thank you, Martin. Mr. Kligerman? You're on mute. Nope. You're on mute. You're on mute. There you go.
Okay,
go.
excellent. So 3 years ago when we began, we had a fund structure that had to be explained. The fund structure, though, has proven to be just the perfect and excellent vehicle to move forward. And 3 years later, we can look back and say we did it right and we chose right. The theory of being corporate counsel is to provide a really firm legal foundation and base from which you can leverage your expertise and your abilities, and that's proven to be true. We've in the last year brought our offering memorandum up to date to meet always changing Securities Act regulations, and we are there. We meet every requirement and qualify everywhere that we need to. That's given you and your whole team and Christine the ability to use your expertise and your abilities to do what you do best, being unimpeded by legalistic things that I have to take care of from time to time. So excellent year, and I see no reason that things shouldn't continue to increase as they have in the past.
Thank you, Robert. And now we have Mr. Pino Decina from Falcon Ridge Management, our administrator.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you, Ron. First of all, on behalf of Rob and myself and the entire team here at Falcon Ridge Management, congratulations to the Ready Capital team. It's been certainly another successful year on your part. At Falcon Ridge, we're certainly both proud and privileged to act as your administrator for your portfolio. We certainly remain committed to providing both Ready Capital and its investors with our sound business practices, and those include very robust administrative oversight of your portfolio. Now, having said that, I think it's important to note that regulatory requirements do continue to increase, and that's a good thing, both for Ready Capital as a portfolio and the investors themselves. And here at Falcon Ridge Management, we will not only keep abreast of these ever-changing requirements, but where possible, we continue to strive to apply principles that exceed those required under the applicable rules and regulations. So maybe what I'll do at this time, I'll pass it over to Rob, and he can add a little bit more color in this regard.
You know, I was here, Ron. Sorry, we just thought filling with two heads was be a little bit easier to take turns. So again, I think Pino already spoke for me, but great growth, very robust, and very easy to work with from a client and customer perspective. Ready Capital's been over the last 3 years. I think one of the interesting things is, and Ron, I think you touched on it earlier, with that type of growth and the incredible job that your team has done at Falcon Ridge, we want to ensure that we have the staffing infrastructure in place that meets all the regulatory requirements. So I think we're very proud to have you as a partner, and we're also very proud of the reputation that we have as a mortgage administrator. So we'll continue to monitor the ever-changing regulatory environment to make sure that your portfolio is administered in the most effective and regulatory compliant way possible. With that, once again, congratulations to you and the team. You guys have done an outstanding job over the last 3 years, and we wish you continued success.
Thank you, Pino and Rob. And Shay, I guess, as our accountant, audited our financials.
Yeah, and as John is now in, maybe I would turn it over to John.
Oh, perfect. Hi, John.
There we go. I think I'm unmuted now.
Welcome, John.
Unfortunately, my camera isn't working today. I figured Shay was going to handle this. No, I think you've shown some great growth, and it's been a pleasure to work with you on the way through. There's been no significant issues that have come up as part of the audit, which is always an outstanding result. And we look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you, John. And with that, I guess we're going to pass it on to our President and CEO, Christine Zhu.
Thank you, everyone. Really, there's a job well done for everyone. Like without your support, without our partner support, we cannot be here today. So really, my sincere appreciation to everyone on the panel, and that's our best partners. I will start sharing my screen and doing my presentation. Can everyone see my screen? Perfect. Okay, so Ready Capital Mortgage Investment Trust. And so about Ready Capital Mortgage Investment Trust, we started in February 1st, 2019, as a mutual fund trust registered in Ontario. The trust provides investors with passive, stable, secure, and superior investment returns while trying to preserve investment capital through mortgage and loans in Canada. So right now, all the mortgages, 100% of our mortgages are in Ontario, but we are allowed to invest in other provinces. But right now, since we are Ontario-based and we know the market very well, so 100% of our funds investment currently are in Ontario. A little bit about myself and our management team. So I'm in the mortgage industry in Toronto, Canada, in the past 22 years. I started as a mortgage agent in year 2000. Since then, I was 3 times award winner for the Alternative Mortgage Broker of the Year by CMA. And last year, 2021, I was named one of the Global 100 Mortgage Professionals. And also I was a few times, actually 4 times, named as the Women of the Influence in the Mortgage Industry. Since 2014 until 2020, like every year we submitted our application as a top 75 mortgage brokers in Canada. So I'm one of them. And since 2013, I was named one of the top 10 commercial brokers in Canada by CMA. Also, I received the Queen Elizabeth Diamond Jubilee Award in 2012 for my community contributions. Ready Capital team, everyone actually is on the panel today. Our director and trustee, Ron Quadro, and our VP in underwriting, VP in charge of underwriting, Mike Quadro, Robert Kligerman, our corporate counsel, and Martin Reed, our trustee. During the past 3 years, we're very proud. We start from 0. Now we surpass 50 million under management, and from 0 also we have until yesterday 506 investor accounts. So thank you very much for the great support for the investors. Our past 3 years' performance are very satisfactory. In the first year, 11 months, our return to the investors are 8.11. And the second year, 8.48. And this past year, 2021, the return is 8.37. So that's actually for the investment, the actual return. If you leave your investment as a compound investment, and also the differences if you take the monthly interest out. So there's 2 differences. The first is return on investment as compounded. You leave your money there, we do the compound investment for you. The second column is non-compounded. That means you take interest out every month. The third column is the end of the year after our audit by our auditors, the actual returns because of our mutual fund trust, 100% of our actual returns were given back to our shareholders. So the first year, the return on investment, if it's compounded, is 8.55, very impressive, I think. And the compounded returns 8.25, well over our 8% projection. And each unit, the investor getting 25 cents extra. And the second year, we're doing even better. The actual return is 8.57 with the compounded return, and the non-compounded is 8.27, and extra 25 cents to each unit. One unit is $100. That's average. And the last year, 2021, our return, despite the pandemic effect, is still very impressive, 8.556 for the compounding effect, and 8.256 for the non-compounded, and extra 25.6 cents to each unit. So from the very beginning, one investor, if you invest 100,000 in the fund and leave it, we do the compound investment for you. By today, actually by March 31st, the $100,000 become $129,724.48. That's over 29%. I think that's a great achievement, and we're very proud of that. So Ready Capital, our slogan is empowering financial stability. So for the investors who invest with us, it's a passive investment. You don't have to worry about yourself and leave the money in the fund. We invest for you, and you receive fixed monthly returns, and the returns is interest income. There's no capital gain, there's no dividend gain or loss, because all we do is invest in private mortgages. So the returns are very low risk interest income. Ready Capital Mortgage Investment Trust, the main features, first of all, we stress on the security. We stress to preserve your capitals. So all investments are mortgage secured by real estate properties. That's the only thing we do. We do not invest anything else other than mortgages. So every dollar invested are backed by mortgages. And for investors, the investments are also very flexible. Because we lend out in mortgages, and we let borrower to redeem their mortgage anytime with only 1 month notice, for our investors, that's also very flexible. There's no lock-in period for your investment. And also high returns. Because we're doing private mortgages, we control each investment, and we target investment to we target return to the investors are over 8%. So that's our target, and then we've been achieving that, overachieving that in the past 3 years, and now we think we can continue doing that. And we're doing monthly distributions because lots of investors would like to see some monthly income, and some of them like to withdraw their monthly interest with a fixed return. So what we use our target return of 8%, and we give that as a fixed return to investors. And by the end of the year, we in the past 3 years, we have extra returns and give it back to investors. And for each investor, also there's a multiple investment options. You can invest personally in a cash account, or use your corporation in doing the corporate account. So that's actually is a big advantage for people who are self-employed, because you do not want to take all the profit out from your company, so you can use your company to invest with us. And also it is RSP and TFSA eligible. And the trust operates in a compliance with the security regulations and distribute through our EMDs at the Belco Private Capital Inc. That's our EMDs. And so we are registered, the EMDs are registered in Ontario and BC. We can distribute our funds in the whole country in Canada. So let's talk about security. The very main goal for this fund is to preserve the investors' capital. So the security is very important. And I have to stress again, every dollar invested are backed with mortgages. So all investment are mortgage secured by real estate properties. Currently, all the mortgages currently are in Ontario. And Ready Capital are the only investment vehicle, only investment target are mortgages. That's all we do. We do not fund construction money, and we do not do any GP, LP involving anything else. And all we do are mortgages. So it's very secure. And again, look at the magic of compound interest returns. So with the compound return, $100,000, if we use 8% projected return, which Ready Capital are doing better than 8%, but we're just using 8% projected return in 9 years, less than 9 years, your capital is already double. So we use 10 years in this chart. So $100,000 with 8% return without thinking of a year-end distribution, your money will be 221,000, over 221,000, and that's return is over 121 times. So it's if you do not need to take your monthly interest out and doing compounding, your money will go much faster. And talking about the flexibilities, our fund has no locking period. The investor can withdraw the money anytime. If you have more, want to withdraw less than $1 million, and you give us 2 months notice, you can take the money out. If you withdraw over $1 million, of course you have to invest over $1 million with us. If you withdraw over $1 million one time, you just need to give us 3 months notice. So if your money is with our fund more than 12 months, there's no redemption cost or any fee associated with it. If you withdraw money within 12-month period, there's a 3% early redemption fee. But anytime you can still take the money out. If there's any emergency, you need the money back, just give us 2 months or 3 months notice. And the money, the investment, our fund is open to everybody except US residents because there are tax issues. So anyone in Canada, Canadian residents, they can invest with us. In Ontario, we allow the investment as little as $5,000 to start with, invest in our trust. Other than in other provinces, $25,000, that's our minimum. So we very welcome accredited investors and also non-accredited investor. People just start working, saving, and students just finish school, start saving for the future. So everyone is welcome. Like $5,000, we can start our great investment future with Ready Capital. And lots of people want to know about regulatory compliance. And Ready Capital Mortgage Investment Trust is a mutual fund trust registered in Ontario. We governed by our offering memorandum. If anybody want to see our offering memorandum, please contact us. And we distribute all our investments through our regular, through our EMD rep at register with Belco Private Capital. And we file security trades every month with OAC by our lawyer at AUM. And yeah, AUM lawyer is not here, but AUM, we start our funds 3 years ago with them. They are still our lawyers, and any filings every month they're doing filings for us. And our administrator is Falcon Ridge Management, and our auditor is Siegel LLP. And our fund is RSP and tax-free saving account eligible. It's administrated by Olympia Trust, one of the largest trust company in Canada. Our monthly reports are to investors. So each investor, you'll receive a monthly report at the year end, and our audit financials will be available to all investors as well. And we issue T3 slips to all investors because our income are all interest income. So T3s are available to all investors. And that's it for my English presentation. And I will actually talk briefly about what I just talked about in Chinese. So our panelists, if you want to take a break, you can turn off your cameras, and after my Chinese brief presentation, you can come back with our Q&A session. 好了，下面呢就是我的中文的这个 presentation 哈，我们把这个基金呢用中文再来给所有的投资者来讲解一下。首先呢，先介绍一下我们基金的成绩。我们从19年的2月份到现在，我们基金呢，到今天为止，到昨天为止哈，我们基金呢已经超过5000万加元。那么跟去年相比呢，我们基金呢增长了超过了1倍。那么我们基金的总共投资账户呢，已经超过500个。那么非常感谢我们在座的投资人给我们的支持、鼓励和信任。我们回顾一下历史，我们从2019年2月1号到今天，我们第一年11个月，我们基金的回报呢是8.11，去年2020年我们基金的回报是8.48，然后去年2021年我们基金的回报是8.37。那么按照我们这个回报一览表，我们更加清楚的看见，如果呢你的投资人的钱呢是放在我们基金里，不是把每个月的利息拿回来，我们做复利投资的话，那么这是我们的第一栏。第二栏呢，就是如果每个投资人呢每个月的利息要把它拿出来，那么我们按照8%的这个预期回报率，每个月把利息发给投资人，那么就叫非复利投资。第三栏呢，就是我们在年底经过审计之后呢，给投资人的这个年底分红。所以19年一共才11个月，我们第一年的复利投资回报呢就是8.55了，就作为复利利滚利哈。第二年这个我们非复利投资呢是8.25，然后每一个投资单位就是100块钱是这一个 unit 哈。那么每个投资单位的那个回报呢是2毛5分钱。然后第二年呢，2020年呢，我们业绩呢更加好，12个月之内呢，我们的投资回报复利是8.57，这个不是非复利，就是每个月拿出利息来的是8.27，然后呢就是有2毛7分钱的额外的这个分红。那么第三年呢，就是去年我们的业绩呢也是这个非常亮眼，我们就觉得非常自豪，拿利息收入的这个被动收入的基金能够做到这样子的回报呢，是不是全国的第一名，也是 top 10了，至少是哈。我们的回报呢，复利回报是8.556，然后呢不是复利回报呢是8.256，那么每一个 unit 呢有2毛5分钱来的这个额外的分红。那么如果看的是最容易看的，就是第一天，如果我们基金成立的时候， 投资人给我们的10万加币，那么到了今天，这个10万加币到了今年的3月31号，这10万加币已经变成12.9724块钱。那么整个的这个3年的总共的回报是29.58%啊，这个是拿利息的回报，这个比很多那些高风险的回报还要稳定，还要好。我们这个就是真的是觉得非常骄傲的事情。那么我们的基金的主要优势，再给大家讲一些，最主要就是安全有保障啊，安全性呢是我们的基金的最强调的地方。那么我们怎么做到也是这个安全性呢？就讲我们的所有投资都有物业做抵押的。我们完全不做没有抵押的投资啊，特别是一些别的好像听起来是地产基金哈，跟我们名字差不多的，但是呢，它不是做这个我们做按揭投资的，也是做开发的那些高风险的项目，我们是完全不做的。我们唯一做的事情就是贷款的这个mortgage， 就是抵押贷款。所以这是我们基金的第一个最重要的，我们每一个投资最重要的就是安全性。然后呢，我们给投资人呢，另外很多投资人需要的是灵活性，因为很多人不知道将来万一会不会需要用钱哈，所以我们跟投资人讲没有问题，把钱放到我们这儿，我们是没有锁定期的，可以随时赎回的，啊，只要提前2个月或者3个月通知我们就好了。而且我们的投资呢是没有门槛的，因为我们是一个互惠信托基金啊，是可以面向所有人作为所有投资人，我们都可以接受。你可以是高净值投资人，也可以是一般的打工族，都没有问题。年轻人、学生什么都没有问题。那么投资门槛非常低啊，只要5000块钱就可以做我们的投资人了。在安省，别的省呢，是25000。那下面会详细说。那么我们的预期回报率呢，都在8%以上，按照8%，我们每个月给投资人分利息的。所以我们每个月固定分红，有些人他需要有固定收入的，比如说你自己还有 mortgage 要付啊，还有一些债务要付，我们每个月都会固定的按照我们预期的年化率8%的利息，把这个每个月固定把利息打到你的账户上。那么当然欢迎你做复利投资，如果不需要每个月把钱拿出来，那么刚才之前看见了复利投资对你的资金的这个回报会更加快啊，资金的这个增长率更加快。那么我们的基金呢可以作为现金账户投资，同时呢也接受 RSP 和免税账户投资。那么可以用你个人的名字，也可以用公司名字啊。很多做小生意的这个投资人，那么你不想把这个钱转到个人账户，因为这个要交税，那留在你的公司账户上，我们可以用你的公司的账户在我们这儿开户做投资的。那么我们是严格受监管的，我们呢是一个互惠信托基金，跟一般大家知道那些私募基金不一样，我们呢是每个月都要向那个安省证监会要发我们的 report， 所以我们是在安省注册的互惠信托基金，那么受安省证监会，同时呢我们受到我们的金融服务的监管 FISRA 的监管，那么我们通过我们的注册豁免经销商这个 EMD Belco， 我们来向全国发行。加拿大每一个省的投资人都可以做我们的投资。首先呢，我们再讲一下我们的安全有保障，这是我们想跟每个投资人讲的。我们的基金的第一个最主要的因素特点就是我们强调我们的安全性。我们的基金的每一份投资，每一笔投资都是有房子做抵押，都有物业做抵押，都是 mortgage。目前来讲，我们所有的投资都是在安省 Ontario。然后呢，除了这个做抵押，有抵押之外的，我们另外一个就是高回报，因为我们是做私贷的哈，就是所有的投资都是作为私贷的投资。那么现在呢，市面上的钱很多，有些的更大的基金，他们的利息比较便宜。如果我们利息达不到我们投资人预期的这个8%的这个回报呢，我们不贷的。所以呢，我们的所有的这个投资，一个是安全性第一，第二个也需要有高回报。那么 我们的预期的回报呢是8%，目前的每一年都做到。那么将来呢，我们还是一样的，经济情况呢其实越不稳定政治、经济、气候、股票市场这个越不稳定，其实需要借4代的人越多，所以我们对将来的这个希望，我们都是知道我们可以非常有信心达到我们的预期要求。那么8%的回报呢，就是说，如果投资在我们基金里面，每一个投资人，如果每一个15万，比如一个投资人如果放15万在我们基金里面，那么每个月的固定的利息呢，回报呢就会有1000块钱。哦，刚才看到有人问问题哈，我们把所有的问题，我们等到这个结束的时候一起问。你可以把那个问题在那个屏幕里打出来是最好的，你可以用中文或英文都可以的。好的，所以如果你投资15万在我们的基金里面，每个月呢你就会固定收到1000块钱，这个是每个月的利息，到了年底可能还有额外分红。那么如果有100万在我们基金里面呢，那每个月的固定利息呢就是6666.67。如果作为复利投资呢，我们就把每个月的这个利息呢再作为利滚利重新投资给这个复利作为投资哈，那么回报呢，这个8%的预期回报率到了年底了就变成8.3%，至少是咱们的 minimum 的回报。那么我们的这个瑞达按揭投资信托基金呢，是在安省注册的互惠信托基金，是 Mutual Fund Trust。我知道在加拿大目前我们还是唯一的一个 Mutual Fund Trust， 其他的类似的在投资这个 mortgages 投资房地产的都是 MIC 的私募基金。我们是目前来讲还是唯一的一个我知道的互惠信托基金，在整个加拿大我们华人背景的基金哈。那么我们根据这个法律规定呢，我们的这个还是 tax regulation， 我们的这个税务规定，我们每一年审计之后要把100%的利润分给投资人。跟我们比较相似的，比如说 REITs 这个是房地产基金。那么房地产基金的税务要求呢，就是到了年底要把90%的利润分给投资人。我们这个 MIT 这个 Mutual Fund Trust 需要把100%的利润都分给投资人的，所以大家在年底这个3月份审计之后都会看到我们有额外分红。因此呢，我们的这个基金呢，如果有更高的这个收益的话，我们希望每一年都会有额外分红给投资人，到了每年3月31号审计之后。那么就是比较清晰的用这个表格看一下，如果呢投资10万块钱，按照8%的预期年回报率，那么到了10年的话，那么就是这10万块钱已经变成22万1000多，因为我们8%的预期回报率嘛，其实不到9年你的钱已经翻倍了。那么按照回报总收益来看呢，如果10年的总收益就是按照8%不算复利投资，不算有额外分红，那么到了10年也会就是整个回报率会有121.96%的回报。那么希望我们其实前3年已经是超过了，你看前3年这个复利回报是27%，如果是按照8%来做，我们现在已经是29点几了，所以我们已经非常这个满意的达到投资人的这个要求，达到我们自己给自己的预期要求。那么还有最主要的，我们的基金呢是没有锁定期的，那么随时只要提前2个月告诉我们，就可以拿到拿回去不到100万的钱的，提前2个月告诉我们就可以拿回去。如果投资超过100万，你想把超过100万的钱一次性拿回去，提前3个月通知我们就好了。那么如果你的投资超过了12个月，那么我们是没有任何费用的，你可以取回去。如果呢不到12个月呢，我们会有3%的手续费。所以呢，如果你想到说没有任何费用，你把钱再放到这儿1年以上，你可以随时通知我们，2个月以后就可以把钱拿回去。那么我们投资呢是面向所有人的，因为我们是互惠信托基金，所以不一定非要是高净值的投资，我们向所有的投资人开放，所以投资是没有门槛的除了美国的投资人之外， 我们可以面向所有的投资人。那么在安省呢，最低的投资金额5000块钱就可以开始了。那么如果是在这个别的省，我们加拿大每个省的投资人都接受别的省最低的25000也就开始了。你可以把 RSP 免税账户，如果已经有的账户可以转到我们这儿来，也可以新在我们这儿开账户。所以我们鼓励大大小小的投资人跟我们基金一起增长。那么我们也非常骄傲的讲呢，我们的基金呢是非常严格受监管的。严格受监管呢，对投资人安全，对我们自己基金也很安全。所以呢，我们的基金呢是在安省注册的互惠信托基金Mutual Fund Trust， 这也是我很自豪的。目前我现在还不知道有别的这个同样的互惠信托基金也在加拿大华人背景的其他的都是私募基金了那么如果大家呢想要看我们的基金的法律文件，那么就叫做我们的基金发行备忘录，请随时联系我们。那么我们的基金呢是通过 Belco Private Capital 是在整个加拿大分销的所以每个省的投资人都可以联系我们。刚才呢在一开始你也看见我们基金的这个销售小助理，刚才在都在一开始的 panelist 上面。我们每个月呢我们的律师事务所 AUM 都帮我们向安省证监会要发我们的 net value 提交我们的这个每个月的报告。同时我们每个月也把我们每个投资人都会收到我们每个月的月结单那么我们的审计公司是非常出名的基金审计公司Seagull LLP， 今天他们的代表也在我们的这个现在的现场。那么我们的注册账户的 RSP 和免税账户现在是用加拿大的最大的这个注册的 trust 公司，这个管理公司这个 administration Olympia Trust。那么我们每个月呢都向投资人刚才讲了发送这个投资的月结单，每个月都会收到报告不管你是注册账户还是一般的账户。同时呢每一年呢都会收到我们年终审计报告。如果不是免税账户的话或者 RSP 的话，每个投资账户都会收到 T3 表格，所以拿到的利息拿到的这回报都是100%都是利息收入。好了，这就是我今天想做的主要的这个报告。那么大家呢可以截屏这里有我们的所有的联系方式。我自己呢也是开始学习做一些小视频，所以有视频号。那么我们自己的这个基金公司，还有我们的我们姐妹公司就是群信金融也有个 YouTube频道。以前过去的关于贷款呢有很多讲座，还投资的讲座，过去的一些视频都在 YouTube 上。今天的讲座呢之后也会放在 YouTube 上面。然后还有我的小助理的这个微信号，我自己呢也现在也这个微信号也在最后一个，所以呢大家联系我都很方便。我们呢经常都有讲座，至少每个月都有讲座，关于投资的讲座或者关于借款的这个贷款的讲座。像今天晚上呢这个贷款的讲座，如果今天晚上大家想参加的话，也联系我的小助手或者联系我。今天晚上8点是讲我们的贷款。这个我觉得贷款跟投资是相辅相成的，是非常重要的。好了，今天呢就我的讲座，我的主要主题演讲就到这里结束。Okay, so that's it for my keynote speech, and we're back to our panel. And I know there's some questions on the chat box, so let's see. Some questions are in Chinese and some questions are in English, and I'll read all the questions and to see whoever's related can answer. So here, the first question: why there's Falcon Management as a mean? Is that an independent company from Ready Capital? How much do I pay to the admin company every year? So Ron or Pino want to answer this question? Ron, you should unmute yourself.
So I don't think Pino is back, so I'll answer that. So as a trust slash MIC, you're required to have an administrator's license in order to collect mortgage payments. Actually, there's Pino there.
Yeah,
Pino.
sorry. I'm just trying to hear.
Yeah, I was starting the question to answer the question, but maybe perhaps you can. So Christine, if you can just repeat the question, please.
So why there's Falcon Management as a MIN? Is that an independent company from Ready Capital? How much do I pay to the admin company every year?
Okay. What we'll do, we can explain why the requirement is there, and maybe Christine, you can talk about the compensation. Okay. So.
Yeah, thanks. So it is an independent company. I think Ron already started to answer as we were coming off. In the province of Ontario, there's a requirement to have a mortgage administrator for MICs and trusts to process payments. We also, so Ready Capital has their own designated trust account, and we reconcile the trust account on a monthly basis for Ready Capital and their investors. But in the province of Ontario, it is a requirement to have an administrator's license. If anyone's administrator license is number 308, and we're under contract to Ready Capital. It is an independent operating entity.
Great, thank you. Regarding the cost, Ready Capital have 2% administration fee, which is on top of it. On top of the 8% given to the investors. So within the 2% administration fee, which is paid for our administrator, right, Ron?
That's correct. No, there's no cost to our investors on this. Our targeted return is what you're getting. That cost does not come out of pocket to investors. It's totally out of the management fees that are collected on a monthly basis.
Okay. Next question. Sorry. What do you foresee in terms of risk and return in 2022? Risk increases interest rate makes the decreased value of the house. Maybe the borrower does not have ability to pay back. Return, will we expect more return as the interest rate increases? Okay. Okay, maybe I should answer the question. We see actually in this year, 2020, I think it's one of the very volatile year in the market. The stock market is very volatile, and also the whole political situation as well. The war starts right now, and the inflation is everything. I think this year is one of the very volatile year, and the future is very uncertain. So for us, Ready Capital, all we do is private mortgages. Lots of times when the downtime in the economic situation, people need to borrow money. So lots of people refinance. And in the high time, when the housing market is booming and people like to invest in properties and people need to borrow money. So in the past 22 years, as in my mortgage career, for the private mortgage side, I don't see any time the private mortgage side being affected by the inflation, deflation, by the stock market, anytime. So I think the private mortgage industry will still be probably will still doing very well. Especially also it's harder and harder for the borrower to borrow money because their employment situation. Lots of people do not have the regular employment situation anymore because also the regulatory for the bank, they are tightening up the lending guideline. The government have more regulation for the Schedule A, Schedule B banks are the regulated financial institutions. So I think we'll see a bigger market in the private side. So I see the future for Ready Capital is great. For the increased interest rate, the interest rate for the regular the A side for the market interest rate for the primary really have a very little impact on the private side. I don't see this much differences into the private mortgage interest rate. Although in the past couple of years, there's so much money in the market, we see some decrease, some much bigger lender decrease their interest rate. However, we're doing well in the past 2 years, and I think with the increased interest rate environment, we're probably doing better. There's the question in Chinese as it says the compound report every year. Is it projected or guaranteed? We are a mutual fund trust. So I'm answering the question. We are a mutual fund trust. We cannot guarantee anything, but we can project, expect, because due to our past experience. So the returns are projected returns. We are so confident we can make the projected return. So monthly, we use our projected returns 8% plus, and we distribute interest, a fixed interest monthly. So the investor will receive the fixed monthly returns with our projected 8% plus returns. One more question. Also, I want to translate it in English. It says you says your interest rate looks like it's higher than the regular private mortgage rate. It's including lender fee and broker fee. Yes, our lender fee is part of the benefit, a part of our benefit with the fund. The broker fee is totally different because we have a sister company called Money Broker Canada. It's a mortgage brokerage. So brokerage is earned by Money Broker if the deal is our own deal, but lender fee is belong to lender Ready Capital. I think that's all. Okay, 2 more questions here in the Q&A session. In light of interest rate increase, the potential raise, also that's the same question actually is already asked. It says I already asked this question. In light of interest rate raises, the potential raise to raise further in the market, do we proceed with the capital get a higher return? I think it's already answered that. Another question is in Chinese. It says if the housing market decrease 20 to 30%, do we have a risk in our mortgage portfolio? I think in Canada, the housing market decreased 20 to 30% is very hard to achieve. I hope the housing market decreased 20 to 30%, and I will invest more in the housing market. Okay, but that's a question. Our portfolio, if you see our portfolio, so our regular loan to value in the whole portfolio right now, I think it's just about 70% loan to value. So if the market really decreased 20, 30%, first of all, the property is not like a stock market. You don't see when they decrease, you have to sell right away or something. You live in your house, doesn't matter you increase in value or decrease in value, you still have to pay the mortgage, you're still living there, right? So even though the value increase, that necessarily have a risk in our mortgages. But if the value does decrease, our portfolio will have, I think we have enough rooms. The loan to value, our average loan to value is around 70%. Lots of times we're actually below 70% loan to value. So I think that's the advantage. Also be invested in a whole fund, because in the whole fund we have so many mortgages. The risk is very diversified. If you lend your money to one single investor, and that investor cannot pay the mortgage because they lost their job, lost their income, or their property decreased so much value, and then you have to do a power sale. To one risk is very high, but in the whole portfolio, the risk is very low. Any more questions? If anyone have more questions, please type in on the chat room. Ron, do you see any more questions?
There's another one here about the at the end of the year, if the actual return is less than 8%. Did you do that one?
No, I didn't.
The question is, I understand that the following situation is very rare. Just for example, if at the end of the year, the actual return is less than 8%, should investors return money back to the trust, or what's the process?
Okay, yeah, I can answer the question, but you can also answer if I didn't say it too well. So monthly, we give the interest based on our 8% projections. We are a mutual fund trust. In theory, the unit price per unit is 100. When we start our fund, the issuing price per unit is $100, and each investors are buying the unit just like a mutual fund, right? So if the value in the company decrease, in theory, the unit price actually going to decrease. Monthly, you receive the statement. They're always talking about unit price. In the past 3 years, most months the unit price is $100. Sometimes you can see the unit price is a penny, a couple of penny more, a couple of penny less, but most times it's $100. So the very rare situation, if we cannot keep 8%, we pay investors more than 8%, our unit price will probably decrease. Instead of $100, it could be, I don't know, $99 or something like that. So, Ron, do I explain well?
Yeah, I think you touched on it. I think that, so for the last part of the question, where it says should investors return the money back to the trust, that's not for us to tell you as the investor, or we're here to manage your funds, make sure you're getting the returns that we targeted. If you happen to, if it ever gets to something like that, that's entirely a decision on yourself on whether you want to withdraw your investment from us. As Christine mentioned earlier, that we don't have a commitment period. You're open to withdraw your funds anytime you like. If if at some point maybe you're getting 7.5%, if you're not happy with that 7.5%, then by all means, all you need to do is send us a request for redeeming your funds, and we will put that back into your accounts. Yeah,
so I think the question is, do they need to pay back the extra interest? No, you don't have to pay back the extra interest. Each unit value will probably decrease. But if you have any time you feel you need the money and you feel it's higher risk, you can withdraw money anytime. And we're so confident. That's why the fund is fully open. Just give us 2 months notice. I think that's okay.
No, you check the Q&A section, so they have also some new questions. It's
okay.
Does the trust portfolio includes both residential and commercial mortgages?
Yes, our trust portfolio, there's a residential and small commercial mortgages. Yes, we have both. But with the commercial, we're only doing, so we actually very, very, very selective with commercial mortgages. We're only doing small commercials, which we know if in case of default, we can easily sell. So mainly in residential, but we do commercial. The other question in Chinese.
Sorry, Christine, just to add to that, that's actually laid out in our financials, what each mortgage that's in our portfolio is, whether it's residential or commercial.
Yeah, so by the annual report, and you will see how many, like by the annual report, we'll see by the end of the year, there's how many mortgages we invest, what's the loan to value, what's the amount, what is residential, commercial. So all the investors, you can request the annual report. You can see it. You will receive the annual report. You will see it too. And there's one question, actually a very good question in Chinese. They ask us whether we will invest in US. No. So our fund is only Canadian fund. 100% of our investment are in Canada. Currently, 100% of our investment are in Ontario. We will not invest in US, and we don't even take US investors. Yeah, but as a mortgage broker for Money Broker Canada, we actually start doing mortgages, helping Canadian investors arranging mortgages in US, but this is nothing to do with Ready Capital. One more question. Could the expected return, currently 8%, being adjusted higher by the management in the near future? If so, and what circumstances? I think we are very comfortable with 8% projected return because we have to do a fixed monthly. We right now the fund doing a fixed monthly returns. If we earn more money, then we'll give it back to investor by the end of the year. So it doesn't matter whether we adjust higher return to the investor monthly or not, but as an investor, you will receive 100% of the profit from the fund. Any more questions? Okay. If there's no questions, you know how to reach us. And if you are very happy with what you hear, which we are very happy, and for our result, we'll welcome you to invest more with Ready Capital. We want to grow with you, and we want to be one of the best managed funds in the category and give investor security and a high return. And that's our goal, and that's our common goal. So thank you very much for all the attendees, and thank you very much for all the panelists. And we really appreciate your help, and really appreciate your partnership in the past 3 years. And let's conclude our 3rd annual AGM for Ready Capital Mortgage Investment Trust. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.